All right, and we are back. Welcome to NFS once again. It has been a long, long time. We've been slacking, but we're back for 2020. We are back for the divisional playoff matchups, and we are good to go as Adam cracks the Coors Light. PVR.
That's what I like to see.
Crack it. It's got beer all over my keyboard, but it's no big deal.
Happens. It's just beer. Just getting ready for the pod.
Happy New Year's, guys.
Yeah, happy New Year's.
Happy holidays.
Fan base, all 15 of you. So yeah, what do you guys want to start with? Do you want to start with the games tomorrow, or do you want to talk about your Eagles?
I mean, we can go in. Not too much to say about the Eagles. The playoff hopes were kind of cut short, I guess, by injury. I think it was a good game. Defense played pretty well. Held Seahawks to a limited amount of points. I think if their offense could have got off the ground, if Wentz didn't get hurt, or even Josh McCown didn't get hurt, or if they had another quarterback that they could have thrown in, I think they would have stood a chance at least. But just the way their quarterback situation ended up, I don't think they really had a chance to win that game.
Who's your third-string quarterback?
It's Nate Sudfeld, but he wasn't starting. He was inactive for the game.
Oh.
And yeah, so Josh McCown tore his
I heard about that.
hamstring or something like that in the second quarter. So right there, it's just kind of wished it away.
I had a good time watching that game. So.
I bet.
It's kind of sad to see, I guess from an unbiased perspective, because obviously Seabass doesn't like the Eagles. But, for me, I'm just wow, this is a playoff team that has, no starters whatsoever on their offense.
Yeah.
The whole O-line is banged up, all your receivers, running backs, and then, of course, the QB, which is the most important position. I remember, I was sitting next to my mom, who's an Eagles fan, too, and she was going nuts the whole game.
Wait, what? Well, hold on. What?
My mom's an Eagles fan.
Since when?
Since always.
Smart lady.
She's getting into it a little bit more now, but she's always been an Eagles fan. Even when McNabb was the QB, she was a fan. She just wants to kill himself.
You're a Packers fan, and your dad's a Bears fan.
Bills.
The Steelers fan.
I thought your dad liked the Bears.
No, I thought he liked the Bears too for a while, but I was wrong about that the whole time. So,
Fake Bears fan?
Bills fan since he was our age. But I think Bears fan.
Whatever.
I was sitting next to my mom watching the Eagles game, and when Wentz went down, I looked at her, and she just was in shambles, which I can imagine is probably what Adam was like the whole game.
Yeah, it was not a pretty sight to see. When he went down, he kind of stood up and he looked like jelly. He didn't look that great, so I was kind of worried. Ultimately, I guess he checked himself out of the game and then failed the concussion test. Realistically, he wouldn't have been seeing straight if he was out there. So I don't know. You don't want to say a guy should play through injury, but that would have been cool. But I don't know. Unfortunate.
Concussion.
Yeah, it is. I don't blame him. Brain injury, he's got how much guaranteed money, really? He doesn't need to play. He doesn't need to throw all that away because of, a big injury like that. So I think next year, draft well, get a couple key signings in free agency with players, and hopefully they can get a nice offensive coordinator and figure something out at wide receiver coach. I think next year going to be a good year. Just basically looking forward to that.
Didn't they fire their offensive coordinator?
Yeah, they fired Mike Groh, who was their old ex-wide receivers coach, and he was their offensive coordinator this year. And also they fired Corey Undlin, who is their wide receiver coach. So I think that was needed based off how poorly everyone kind of played. They all regressed as wide receiver core in general. So
yeah.
I think it'll be good change.
Yeah, Jason Garrett's on the market, right?
Yeah, give me Kellen Moore before Jason Garrett.
Kellen Moore staying put.
I don't think you want any. But yeah, that's some big news as well. NFC East, former Packers coach Mike McCarthy is back, and he is with the Dallas Cowboys, which I think is a interesting move. I think it's a little bit of an underrated one. Saw a lot of people complaining about it, but I think it could be a decent move for them. What do you think about that, Sebastian?
I don't mind it. It would have been nice to have like a younger coach, like a Lincoln Riley, but I don't know. I understand what they're trying to do with getting the experienced coach in there, and like seeing if they can kind of win now, seeing if any other coach but Jason Garrett can kind of get them over the hump. And he's bringing in guys who were former coaches too, like Jim Tomsula, who sucked as a head coach, but so he was a head coach. I think Joe Philbin, they brought him along. I'm pretty sure wasn't he the coach for the Packers last year for a bit?
Yeah, he was originally the OC, and then when
Yeah.
he got fired, he took over as the interim head coach for the rest of the season.
Yeah, so I'm guessing he's bringing in experienced guys, and then surprisingly they kept Kellen Moore too, which a lot of people didn't really like, but for me, I mean like Dak had his best year. Uh, they produced 2,000-yard wide receivers, and I'd like to see where it goes as well. And the only thing I'd like to see as well is for them to keep their QB coach, John Kitna, who was also a former Cowboys head coach. So, might as well keep him along. But we'll see what happens. There's still quite a few coaches or coaching spots they got to fill up, like wide receiver, running back, and tight end. But overall, like I don't mind the move. As long as it's not Jason Garrett, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter to me.
Any change is good at this point, probably.
Yeah, that's the
Full
least.
time. And then the whole thing, how like they kept trying to push it off. They took like a week to fire him, and then I think it was Adam Schefter. He was like, "Oh yeah, like Jason Garrett gave them permission to like move on or something." Why would Jason Garrett need to give you permission to move on and find a new coach? But I don't expect anything different.
Just a bad breakup.
Mhm.
At least it's over. At least it's over.
Yeah, thank God. But
Move on past that.
Yeah, let's talk about these games tomorrow.
Yeah, move on from our teams to your teams, Jack.
yeah, Jack. Let's start with Jack. Seattle, Green Bay. How are you feeling tomorrow?
All right. Well, I'm feeling pretty good going into this one. I'm pretty confident. I can't lie. The Packers are definitely the favorite in this matchup. I think like Seattle is definitely hampered with injuries. Obviously, the game being in Lambeau is a huge advantage, and it's looking like it's going to snow Sunday night. So that's also a big plus because the Packers have played well in the snow. They always play well in the snow, but especially this year, they played really nicely. So that's a big advantage. But yeah, it's going to be a great QB matchup. I think Russell Wilson will bring his A game. I think Rodgers is going to have to step up quite a bit, but I'm pretty sure that is going to happen. And I'm trusting this run game, and I'm trusting the pass rush against Seattle, who has a little bit of a struggling offensive line and three starters who are banged up currently. So I'm thinking that the Packers have the advantage on both sides of the ball, but knowing these teams and the games they've had in the past and the way that Pete Carroll creates these very close, tight-knit games, anything could happen. The Fail Mary, the Brandon Bostic fumble, some nuts games between these two.
Yeah.
So, my hopes are high, but, I'm not – there's no certainties at all. No certainties whatsoever.
Yeah, really. No, I agree. I think I definitely would take the Packers in this matchup. But I think as a whole, they're likely more healthy than the Seahawks are. It's in Lambeau, like you said. Seattle being a West Coast team, like I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot going into it, and really, I don't know if the Seattle offense will be able to keep up with the Packers coming off this bye now. And just defenses, they're both not the best defenses in the world, but I would definitely favor the Packers in this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it'll be a great game. Definitely two great quarterbacks, so anything could really happen. But I would go with the Packers in this one.
Yeah, I would as well. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, it'll probably be like a one-score game just because of what you said. These two teams, Seattle, I'm pretty sure all their wins are within one possession.
Yeah, I think 11 of their 12 or yes.
Besides last week, what was last week? 10 points they won.
That was 8 points. So it was
okay.
So still one score technically.
Yeah, still one score technically. So if Seattle wins, it'll be close. But I with you guys, I think Green Bay has the advantage here. They're at home. And hopefully Rodgers. I think he'll play well. I mean, there's no reason not to. He's had an extra week to get ready. Um, yeah, and they're just a healthier team in general. So
Yeah.
gotta get that.
Yeah, looking at the injury report, it's a lot different from previous years in the playoffs when they had, banged up secondaries or,
Mhm.
offensive linemen out. Brian Bulaga seems to always be in and out of the lineup. But,
Yeah.
this game they have all their starters. They have Raven Green, who's back off IR. Kenny Clark looks like he's about to play this week. So, yeah, it's a full unit compared to Seattle, who's just kind of hampered top to bottom. So, yeah, should be a Green Bay win, I'm thinking.
Yeah. Speaking of full units, if you want to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers versus the Vikings here.
Yeah, great game.
That matchup, two teams that want to run the ball, two teams built pretty sound on defense. Jack, what about your thoughts on this game?
I think this could be a little bit of a trap game. Like, I'm wondering if the Vikings are just going to be that dark horse that nobody kind of really believed in at the start, but maybe they have that, kind of edge going into this San Fran game.
Yeah.
However, the return of Quan Alexander and I believe Pete Ford and, the entire, full defensive unit for the 49ers, who's just been playing better and better every week. It's hard to bet against those guys. And then, of course, Jimmy Garoppolo has been playing lights out on offense, and they're figuring out their rush game slowly and surely. And, stopping George Kittle is a tough ask. So,
Yeah.
The 49ers, I think, rightfully so, have the advantage, and they're definitely the favorite. So I think I got to go with them. But, again, it's another one that I think is going to be a one-score game. I think the Vikings will somehow keep it close, whether you believe in Kirk Cousins or not. Yeah, these NFC games are going to be pretty tight, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust either of these quarterbacks, to be honest. Like, I don't know. Cousins, he played very well. I'll give him that last week, and I'm surprised they actually won. Like, I don't know. For me, it would have been nice to see Breeze go for another Super Bowl, but Cousins pulled through. Garoppolo, he's played well, but it's Garoppolo. I don't know. There's always something about him. Like,
Yeah, Garoppolo in playoffs. We'll see how this turns out, really.
Yeah,
Like,
he doesn't have that experience yet.
yeah, exactly.
I don't know if Kirk does though, really.
One game.
Coming off a big game though.
Yeah, that was a big game to win in the Superdome. Like, I think that's a more hostile place to play than in like San Francisco.
This is a tough one.
Very tough.
I'm thinking I'm gonna lean the home team here.
Yeah.
This could be another close game, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if San Fran just pulls away.
Yeah. For me in this one, I'd love to say that like San Francisco I think is gonna win, but I do have a feeling about the Vikings. Like, I believe they're a 7-point underdog, so that whole touchdown that they're supposed to lose by.
Mhm.
I think that the way they ran the ball last week and the way Kirk played, like, realistically, Diggs didn't see the ball too much. And I think
No.
against this San Francisco team with two really good cornerbacks, I think it's going to be a big, like, Olabisi Johnson's going to have to stand up for them, and I think Kevin Rudolph as well. I think between those guys in the run game, I think that they do have a chance against the 49ers in this one. Like, on defense, the Vikings almost seem to want to shut down the run a little bit more than they do the pass. And the 49ers in this matchup, like, they're the running dominant team. Everything's off play action, everything's off the run. I think the Vikings almost match up well. I wouldn't say, it's hard to say the Vikings I think would win. I would pick them to win, but definitely like with a spread or something like that, it kind of gives you comfortable making that pick almost. But I would go the Vikings in this one just to be the odd man out.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they do have a decent shot.
Yeah, it'll be a great
That
game.
game's tomorrow, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the game.
That's the first one. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, the second game tomorrow is between Mr. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens and the Tennessee Titans. So that's another very interesting matchup.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's saying they're the dark horse, the Titans, but
Yeah, they're a scary looking team. Like, that offense is rolling.
Yeah, I think for me in this one, it's not even really. It's definitely going to be the Ravens for me. They're my pick in this one. I think the Ravens are probably the best team right now, and they just haven't been slowed down recently. So the Titans they played good at defense against Tom Brady, but just this Baltimore offense just is not the Patriots, right? They're gonna have to play good defense and be able to score more than 14 points on offense.
Yeah, they're gonna have to score much more, like you said. And I don't know, Baltimore, they can pull away unlike the Patriots, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's saying, Derrick Henry, he can run through you, but I don't know, man. I can't see Derrick Henry getting like 28 points himself. I really can't.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he really went off and had 14. So
yeah. I know Tannehill, he only threw 70 yards last week. That's probably not gonna happen again. But if you ask me, can I see Tennessee scoring mid 20s, 25 points? I don't. But I can see the Ravens pulling away, and I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
yeah.
Like the Ravens are so consistent that you just kind of like you have to go into a game knowing you have to score like 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot to ask against that defense, regardless of how well Henry plays. They're going to be stacking the box a lot. They're going to want Tannehill to throw the ball a lot. I assume that, A.J. Brown's going to have a matchup against Marlon Humphrey, kind of, hopefully lock him down, and then you take out most of the weapons right there. So it's going to be a tough ask for Tannehill in the Titans offense. So, yeah, I got to agree with both of you.
But the one thing to watch is, I'm not too sure, is Mark Ingram playing? The same with Mark Andrews.
He was questionable.
Okay.
Yeah, Ingram, I think he's playing. Like, he's planning.
Okay.
I think regardless, they're going to run the ball. Justice Hill, Gus Edwards, Mark Ingram, whoever just
That's true.
that gets the most opportunity is the one that does really good just based off how that whole offense plays, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Okay. So, yeah, I think we're all on the same page there, then.
Yeah, that's good. I guess on to the Texans and Chiefs. I can start that one. The Texans, they played really good against Buffalo. I don't know. I kind of think Buffalo maybe lost that game more than the Texans won it. But up against the Chiefs in this one, Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, he's going to be it's the Mitchell Trubisky Bowl, I guess. Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. I think I'm going to go with the quarterback in this one. The Texans look shaken up against the Bills last week, and I think the Chiefs are a far and away better team than the Bills, so I'm going to go with the Chiefs in this one.
Yeah, same here, and I have to add, like, if it wasn't for Deshaun Watson, Bill O'Brien, he should be fired, honestly. Like, the amount of times Watson has bailed him out, it's just amazing. But, yeah, I'm going to have to go with a better team, and like you said, I feel like the Chiefs are just so much better than the Bills. And you know what? I'm going to go with Mahomes all the time.
Yeah, the Texans are probably a little bit out of their element. Obviously, they would need a huge defensive performance from J.J. Watt again. He really lifted them. But, the Texans in the first half of games, I don't know what it is. They just can't seem to make it click. And, that's the times when, Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill are going to be torching the defense. So if you're not keeping up early in the game, you're going to fall behind. And, the Chiefs aren't going to give up that lead the way the Bills did.
No.
So, we don't have much contrast in these 4 games, but I have to agree with you guys again. I think the Chiefs are going to easily take this one, and we should be seeing the 4 best teams in the conference championships.
Well, hopefully for your sake, I hope Packers win, man.
Yeah, it might be another tough cry again this year.
Yeah.
I
can't wait to see how this one ends.
Yeah.
No,
man. These games against the Seahawks is just going to be crazy. So, it's going to be a nail biter either way.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know what else is on the agenda, football wise. Nothing else has happened really. I mean,
flag football championship, but we can get to that on another episode.
The only other thing is, like, no one wants to coach the Browns. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know.
You got to wonder how much of that is on Baker and whether a coach wants to kind of deal with that. 2 head coaches in 2 years is already a little bit concerning, and the way his play has kind of downgraded. You got to wonder how many coaches are actually willing to put up with that challenge. But, they have a talented roster, and, barring any Odell or Jarvis Landry trades, they should have the pieces on offense to make it work. But I don't know why nobody wants to, go out and get hired there. So it's interesting. I think anything will be an upgrade from Kitchens, though.
Yeah,
Who's left? Like McDaniels?
yeah, McDaniels. I could see that. That Baker kind of pocket passer, similar to what he's dealt with.
Okay, we're back after
So,
a quick delay.
sorry, I think that's what happens when we talk about the Browns for too long. We just kind of all start to vanish one by one.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear that shit. Yeah. All right. So I guess we'll end off the podcast today by talking about NFS's goals kind of for 2020 and the new decade and what we hope to accomplish. We had some good stuff going in 2019 at the end there. We kind of slowed down a little bit with the videos, but I kind of liked the content we had going on, our social media. We had people kind of interacting with us, asking us for, their DFS kind of picks and stuff like that. So, we had some good stuff going on. What kind of things do you guys kind of want to talk about and, look forward to for 2020?
Yeah, one of the biggest goals for me personally to try to get done as a group, definitely getting our podcasts onto non Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the things that you can kind of have on in the background.
Yeah.
I think that's really important, trying to viewer retention especially. I think that's a huge thing, and I think once we figure out how to get all that done, it'll be a lot easier and a lot better just for producing more content, really.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, hard to listen to podcasts on YouTube all the time, so yeah, it's a great method of doing things.
Yeah.
It's definitely hard to keep YouTube open
Oh yeah.
all the time, unless you're on a desktop or something. But
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I'm with Adam on that. I also just like to say I think it'll be better in 2022 because we kind of started midway through football season, so we have a lot of options of content wise. We can talk about the draft, free agency,
Off season.
Yeah, off season stuff. So I guess just being more consistent and make sure addressing and making videos towards those key days in the football season. But definitely I'm on board with that. We got to figure out how to get on Apple or and Spotify and figure that stuff out.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's pretty important to get to, and I think we can start to kind of look at doing better, more not clickbait, but thumbnails that kind of provide higher viewer customer acquisition almost. It is almost clickbait, a lot of the stuff, but just kind of having even pictures of athletes that a couple of the guys were talking about, just kind of clean things up a bit, because I think it's definitely coming along as a podcast and just as a group, I guess, the social medias and everything, like Jack said. But yeah, we're just kind of getting the finishing touches on everything, kind of polishing up every aspect of it. But
I'd also say we could even maybe I like these videos where we kind of recap each week, but also we can make possibly mini segments as well.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
And kind of try and get onto Twitter more, interact with people more, maybe post those videos on there.
Yeah.
So we can save the longer shows for Spotify and then kind of the segments for YouTube.
Yeah.
So we could definitely do that because then it can kind of fill up the gaps where we're not active or we're not on the same schedule.
Yeah, kind of have posts stored up.
Yeah, exactly.
If something misses, we kind of have a bank. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good point.
The shorter kind of content works, if we do more stuff like the Guess the Player kind of series we had going.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just kind of short, 10 minutes or less kind of videos we can toss onto the social medias and YouTube and everything. So
yeah.
And of course in 2020 there's a lot of great content still to come for the playoffs and the Super Bowl, and of course on the MMA side of things, lots of great cards coming up already. McGregor next week, we'll have a video for that. So yeah, there's some exciting stuff we got going on, and as the channel builds and we get better and better with editing, I think the quality will continue to kind of go up. So pretty psyched about that.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, I mean, like, I'm looking forward to this year. It's like a full season, as Conor McGregor would say, a full season. So that's what we're gonna have this year.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, I'm looking forward to it. We could also do like special shows too. Like, if you guys want to do the Masters, we can do that.
Oh yeah.
I know you guys don't really golf, but I'm sure you could name a couple players here and there. And I mean, we did DraftKings Masters last year, so we could do something like that as well.
Yeah, those would be good. We can do that maybe in a segment, like where we all kind of pick our teams and explain it, and then kind of when it's the Masters, throw it together.
Yeah. Fuck, I don't know. We can do something random like the Kentucky Derby or something. I don't know. Something
Bet on some
we have no clue about. We kind of just like hope for the best,
That would make for good content. Like,
yeah.
Like, I'll just put money on Dale Earnhardt Jr. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, but yeah, we'll do a couple fun things. See what happens.
Yeah.
But definitely tune in this year. Definitely follow us. Definitely keep up to date, and trust me, we'll provide for you guys. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We'll do our part.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for sticking with us. Whether we're producing content or not, but get ready for some good stuff in 2020, and thank you for watching.
All right. Take care, guys. Yeah.
See ya.